he has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
You just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw,
Me like sparring.
Yeah.
When I watched it, which, you know, look, I paid for it. They got me. I thought it was going to be a real fight.
You know, but me, I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm just gonna keep it 100, man. JakePaul is fugazi. He's fake.
That's how you feel.
Truly feel. I'll bust him up and his trainer in the same night. 2 for 1.
JoeRogan reacting shock as AnthonyJoshua reveals JakePaul pushed for a scripted bout. Joshua says he agreed only to a real fight with real risk. Rogan notes how Paul's past wins face accusations of choreography and compliant opponents. Those victories, critics argue, padded records and rankings, boosting title talk without elite competition, leaving fans questioning legitimacy and intent behind the spectacle and fueling debate across sports circles.
Yep.
You know, like you would assume that wealth would take away your drive for
But
competition.
it hasn't. Yeah.
He's also nuts, right? Just
Yeah.
the fact that he's willing to fight the 2-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist,
Yeah.
a guy who's gigantic in his prime,
Gigantic.
built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand.
JoeRogan says the fight looked more like a controlled sparring session than a dangerous war. He explains that while the bout had moment of tension, it never reached a level where serious damage seemed likely. Rogan adds that boxing can turn ugly very fast, so seeing both fighters walk away without major injuries is a positive outcome. He stresses that safety matters more than hype, and is glad no one took heavy shots that could have lasting consequences.
He was going to get
You've
hurt.
known him for a long time. I've known him for a long time.
Chaos Sonnen says the situation simply does not make sense when looked at logically. He explains that a fighter with only 11 professional bouts should not be standing across the ring from an experienced Olympic medalist. In Sonnen's view, the gap in skill, experience, and ring IQ is far too wide to ignore. He also points out that the weight difference makes the matchup even harder to believe, as the more seasoned fighter was not only outside JakePaul's usual competition level, but also naturally heavier. Sonnen argues that in real competitive boxing, commissions and trainers would never allow such a pairing under normal circumstances. To him, the matchup raises serious questions about authenticity and intent. He suggests that when fights ignore basic sporting logic, fans are right to doubt whether everything unfolding in the ring is genuinely competitive or designed mainly for attention and promotion rather than true sport.
For Jake, or if I think that Joshua is more experienced or better, I believe in I believe boxing's real. If boxing is an actual sport, if it is an actual sweet science, then of course a guy that's done it 11 times cannot compete with the Olympic champion. Of course. This is before you get size in there, before you get professional world titles in there. A guy that's done this 11 times cannot go into the Olympic Games and medal. If boxing, in fact, should be believed. And I was with Portnoy. I liked it. I liked how he said that. So, you know, that's how I feel too. Because I'm also cheering for JakePaul. But I get it. And I know we're not going to win tonight. But that's a compliment to boxing. And it is very hard for people to digest that AnthonyJoshua can't cut him off. He can't find him. He can't do anything with that reach. He can't go out there and rush him. He can't throw this kid in a corner and beat him up. That is disappointing to me. That is baffling to me. As an MMA guy, I will just share with you, that would not be a problem at all. At all. If a guy's running away from me, it would be absolutely no problem. And you could put the boundaries at the city line. You could put it at the state line. I will track him down, I will put him somewhere, and I will beat the dog out of him. So in a ring, I get where that is really disappointing. I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that that's what happened. And then Joshua, by the way, has the right to turn to some other thing. Where I'm saying he got to cut him off, grab him, throw him in the corner, go beat him up. Well, I'm saying that Joshua has the right to go, I could feel some stuff. I knew it was going to come my way, right? For Joshua to say, well, I had the experience, and yeah, he was moving, and yeah, I could have cut him off a little different. But I didn't mind the way this was going. I didn't mind that he was running. I knew he would slow down. I knew he would come to me eventually. Like, for that to be Joshua's mindset, is
JoeRogan points out that Jake Paul has always wanted to prove himself as a real fighter, taking on opponents in the ring and showing he can handle genuine competition. He emphasizes that Jake thrives when he faces fighters and challenges that are real, not scripted or fixed. But this time, stepping up against AnthonyJoshua, the scale of the fight is on a completely different level. Rogan notes that because Jake has never faced someone of Joshua's size and power before, it's impossible to know his true stamina or how he will hold up in a full intense out against an equally big and experienced opponent. He stresses that while Jake has proven skill and speed, the question of endurance and resilience against top-tier heavyweights remains unanswered, leaving fans curious but uncertain.
When we expect Jake Paul to be fighting like higher level competition, it's not because he has under 10 fights. It's because he talks a lot of shit.
Yeah, but that's also why we're talking about it.
And that's exactly true. But I think on both sides of the equation, we've got to admit that a young fighter under 5 fights isn't fighting great competition. So
True.
if you're calling Jake Paul a legitimate boxer and then you're expecting him to do what legitimate boxers do, I'm not sure he's not doing that, and probably more.
That's what I'm saying about the knockout of Tyron Woodley, because it was just a regular boxer who's just coming up. And what does he have?
Tim Bradley openly calls out Jake Paul, saying he is fake and that his fights lack genuine competition. He emphasizes that Paul's matches often appear orchestrated, with opponents seemingly following a script rather than engaging in real competitive boxing. Bradley criticizes how these staged outcomes have helped Jake build a record that exaggerates his abilities. He warns fans not to be misled by the spectacle, noting that while the event are entertaining, they do not reflect true boxing skill or risk. According to Bradley, Paul's approach undermines the integrity of the sport and sets a misleading example for aspiring fighters.
But I can't knock you I can't knock your hustle when you've built something outside of boxing and you say, hey, yo, I'm coming over here to the sport now and I'm gonna pick and choose who I fight. Y'all come follow me. If they follow him, man, I just understand what it is. I know what I'm looking at. You're not gonna fool me over here. Save that stuff for them other people, because I'm not gonna believe that I'm the face of, no, you're not the face of boxing. I'm not giving you that, because that's for a lifer.
But that's what he believes.
That's cool, I can't knock him for that. People believe a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. I'm just saying, you can do all the rah-rah stuff, that's your business. But I just know what I'm looking at, right? But on the monetary side and it being an event, the truth is that when he does fight, it does bring attention around the sport. People debate, they argue, people want to see the fight. Is it legit? Is it him and Mike Tyson? No, it's an event.
Daniel Cormier praised Jake Paul for his bravery in stepping into the ring with AnthonyJoshua, acknowledging the significant risk involved. While he initially joked that anyone would fight for $100 million, he recognized the courage required to face a seasoned heavyweight after previously fighting much lighter opponents. Cormier highlighted Paul's athleticism and skill, noting how his movement and strategy allowed him to avoid heavy damage from Joshua's powerful shots. He explained that constantly moving and dodging takes a toll on energy, yet Paul managed to last against an elite opponent. Cormier compared the challenge to wrestling dynamics, emphasizing the repeated effort and resilience required each time a fighter is knocked down or pressured. He concluded that Paul's performance demonstrated boldness, adaptability, and commitment, showing that despite controversy over his career and past opponents, he approached this fight with respect and courage for the sport and his opponent.
Fight. What were your thoughts on that? I thought Jake Paul was a brave guy. Then I found out he made $100 million. I was thinking, well, anybody would fight for $100 million, but bro, he fought. I literally ran into Logan Paul in New York City, and I said to him, it was weird too, because I was going into a studio to interview Kamaru Usman for one of my shows, and Logan Paul was at the coffee shop. He's like, JC, I was like, what's up, Logan? Because he does a tremendous job at WWE. Yeah, Logan Paul does.
I don't watch WWE, but I know that.
Dude, you're huge. He might literally be the best professional wrestler in the world.
Really?
He's such an athlete, bro. Yeah. He's unbelievable. But I'm just stroking him right now. I swear to God, bro, it's unbelievable how good the kid is. Okay. From the moment he started doing it, he was really good.
He can cut a promo, huh?
He got a kids say promo. He's got a promo, but he's also good in the ring. Okay. He's really athletic. I said to him, I go, what type of safeguards do you have in place to make sure he doesn't get his head knocked off against AnthonyJoshua? He's gonna fight Gervonta Davis, who weighed in at 137 2 fights ago. So now you're gonna go fight AnthonyJoshua, who weighs all of 250? He said, all right. He said, he's gonna just fight him. I go, man, he's very bold. And then what happened was he ran a lot. Yeah. Here's the thing. Everybody goes, even Eddie Hearn goes, he did better than Francis. I'm like, well, Francis didn't move around much. Francis thought he could actually fight him because of what he did to Tyson Fury, right? Couldn't. Tyson Fury might have overlooked him a little bit, and I think that's what happened. Like, he got caught with the right hand drop. Anthony Joshua was like, I'm not taking any chances with this guy. So he fought him and he took him serious. But Francis didn't move. Jake did a good job of moving around for a long time. But all that moving costs energy, right?
I mean, I used to spar with the Robert Guerrero here in Gilwood.
Yep.
And I would go in and spar with him. I'd tell people that I would spar with him for his first 4 rounds. He would do 12 rounds.
Yep.
He would use me as his warm-up rounds.
Yep.
And I was in fight shape. I wouldn't go and spar unless I was ready to fight. Like, I was 2 or 3 weeks out from my...
Yeah.
I was ready to fight. And by the 4th round, I was fucking exhausted. And he would just make me miss. You know, if you miss more, it's it makes you more tired.
Especially when you're throwing big punches like Jake was throwing.
Yeah.
And then wrestling. He's like shooting double legs and shit. Like, all you look like Dylan Davis. Oh, we're seconds, bro. All that wrestling was crazy, dog. I was like, bro, have you ever in my life seen that much wrestling in a boxing match?
It was Dylan, but it's Logan Paul all over again.
Every time he would fall, you got to get up.
Yeah.
Every time you shoot, you got to get up.
It makes you more tense. It should be oral or up you. It's a worse shot.
I mean, and Anthony Joshua's shorter.
Eddie Hearn reflected calmly on the recent clash between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, offering insight into how the fight played out. He emphasized that the strategy had always been clear: maintain patience, control the pace, and gradually wear Paul down before securing a decisive finish. Hearn highlighted that this approach was designed to minimize unnecessary risks while still asserting dominance in the ring. According to him, everything unfolded according to plan, showcasing both Joshua's discipline and the effectiveness of a measured game plan over impulsive aggression. This careful execution, he suggested, allowed the fight to proceed safely while still delivering the tension and excitement fans expected.
He said before the fight, I'm going to break him down and then I'm going to knock him out. And that's exactly what he did. I thought it'd be all over within 3 rounds. But, you know, when I got in the ring after, because I was shouting, just, you know, anywhere, I got in, he went, what are you rushing me for? And I was like, oh, sorry. So, but like, obviously he knows what he's doing, and actually now quite pleased that we got the rounds, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw you said that. Really random, I was on Twitter and I saw Jake Paul's mom said she wants to get in the ring and punch you. She said she doesn't like the smug look on your face. She is promoting her book, so I'm not sure if she wants, you know. But did you see that? What did you think of that?
No, I was very sad because I couldn't have been nicer and more respectful of Jake and what he's done. And I think Logan's amazing. I think he's an incredible athlete. And I shook Jake Paul's dad's hand in the ring, you know. And if I would have seen Mum, I would have said, all right. But I think over the years, we've obviously had our beef, and she probably don't like me anyway. And I am probably a little bit smug. I wasn't smug after the fight because I would have been more smug if it was all over in a round. Yeah. So, no, I give Jake respect. And, sorry, Jake's mum doesn't like me, but if she can send me a free book.
Meanwhile, Duke McKenzie provided a more analytical perspective grounded in years of experience. He explained that his critique was informed by technical knowledge rather than personal bias. Giving weight to his observations, McKenzie argued that the outcome itself was highly revealing, making extensive commentary almost unnecessary. He focused on how Joshua's composure and tactical superiority were evident throughout, pointing out that the fight's results reflected the disparity in experience and skill without exaggeration. For him, the fight was a textbook example of a seasoned boxer imposing strategy and discipline over a less experienced opponent.
You know, like when you got a fly on the windscreen and you're trying to swat it, and you're trying to swat it and you miss and you keep tapping, and then eventually, bang, you get it. That's exactly what that fight was. Jake Paul didn't get in there to win last night. He got in there to survive. And he didn't do a job of surviving. He sold the fight brilliantly. That's what he is. He's a salesman. And he's a YouTuber, influencer, call him whatever you want. So from that perspective, he did his job, but he never got in there to win. He just got in there to get beat up. I'm glad AnthonyJoshua done a number on him. This is why boxers are boxers, YouTubers, whatever they want to call themselves, influencers. You know, they should stay in their lane and fight people that they're supposed to fight on their level. This guy was never on AnthonyJoshua's level, and Joshua did what he needed to do, did what he had to do for the sake of boxing, and blow this guy out, and just knock him out.
What about the fact that Jake was able to land on him clean a couple of times? What did you make of that?
Oh, listen, you can't get into the water without getting hit. Fortunately for Joshua, that guy can't break an egg. So he was never in any danger. You know, he's always going to get hit back. I mean, you know, it was 6 rounds. AnthonyJoshua was always going to take at least 1 or 2 shots over that 6-round period, but it was nothing to hurt him, it was nothing to bother him. And like I say, this is all about getting AJ's confidence back. If JakePaul fights, if he fights KSI or KFC or whatever his name is, then those two are evenly matched, aren't they? They're evenly matched, and then they could fight, you know, and then because they're evenly matched, they're both YouTubers, aren't